Social Security makes up a significant portion of most people's retirement income, and the way to maximize that income is to delay claiming. The longer you can wait until age 70, the more you get each month, and that helps you have more money to spend on the things that are important to you in retirement. You also have the opportunity, if you quit working and delay claiming, to do some advanced planning, and we're going to look at some examples of that. One of the ways to delay claiming is simply to work longer, and that doesn't really sound like retirement, but you can potentially change the way you work, perhaps work part-time so that you can at least withdraw less from your accounts and take less of a financial hit. And doing that has several benefits. One of them is, of course, the financial aspect, but you can also stay engaged. So if you are working each day, you're going to stay mentally active, perhaps physically active. You're going to be talking with coworkers and clients or whatever it is you do for work. That can help you stay engaged in the community and ease the aging process, reduce the chances of cognitive decline, that kind of thing. And if you get health insurance through your work, maybe even if you just work part-time, that's an added benefit until you get to age 65 and you qualify for Medicare. The thing about working longer, aside from you're not retired, is that it can be a great idea, but it's not the best strategy. Unfortunately, what happens is a lot of people plan to work longer than they actually are able to. If we look at this study from the Employee Benefits Research Institute, we see when people expected to retire around age 65 and when they actually did, typically around age 62. And the reasons for that are shown over here on the right. Unfortunately, sometimes there are health problems or disability. Perhaps you're actually caring for somebody else and it's not your own health issues, or there may be changes in your job or your industry that make it so that you can't keep working. There are also some good news reasons why people stop working, and in this case, about a third of them were able to financially just retire early. Another strategy is to spend down your retirement assets as you wait for your Social Security benefit to increase. And I'm going to show you an example of that in my financial planning software that I use with clients. But I want to mention that this is something that can be quite scary to do because you're going to be taking large withdrawals in the early years, and then those withdrawals, of course, shrink once your benefits begin. But if everything works out right, this can actually be a good time to make some strategic moves in those low income years between when you stop working and when your Social Security benefits start. So we'll take a look at Jane Doe. This is an oversimplified example. She is 60 years old, going to retire in 5 years, and she has $800,000, half of it in pre-tax IRAs, the other half in taxable accounts. She wants to spend $4,000 a month after taxes, and we're going to look at taking Social Security after age 70. Perhaps she is in really good health and is expecting to live a long time, and she really likes the idea of that guaranteed lifetime income coming from the government. In Jane's case, we can see that she has no income at age 65, but her expenses are still there, and she's got that $48,000 a year. It's inflated a little bit in those years since we last looked at her spending. She's got a little bit extra for health care, so it comes to about $60,000. Her tax payment is relatively low because she's not earning income. It's mostly going to be anything that happens with her accounts, perhaps growth or withdrawals. But the scary thing for her is she's spending over $60,000 a year. Again, she started out with about $800,000, so that's quite a lot to take out each year, and it can certainly be scary. But once she does begin those Social Security benefits, her withdrawals can shrink substantially, and that's because she's getting a decent amount of what she needs from her Social Security. So there is this period where there's a sharp drop off in her account balances, and in this case it's actually not too dramatic, but it feels dramatic, and then that drop off levels out. Now, given that her income is so low in these years before she starts taking Social Security, she could potentially do Roth conversions during those years, and that means strategically choosing to pay taxes so that she can potentially get tax-free income out later from a Roth account. So that's something that I look at with clients. And if you'd like to explore that, we can certainly talk about working together. By the way, I do want to ask, please subscribe to this channel. It doesn't cost you anything, and it does help you stay up to date on things like this. Helps me out a tiny bit. So thank you for doing that. And thanks to everybody who's already subscribed. And besides those two options, there are a couple of other ways to delay when you claim Social Security. You might tap your home equity, or you might look at insurance policies. What I would say is that those are extremely complicated strategies, like anything else, like spending down your assets or like continuing to work. They take some serious consideration, so I hope you'll look into that, but it's more detailed than I want to get into right now. So I hope that this has been helpful and given you some ideas, painted the picture on what it might look like to delay claiming your Social Security so you get as much as possible. Thanks and take care.